just remember being beside the train and I started going and I slipped, and I remember going in a circular motion. I felt like I had no legs, and I felt like I was in pain at that point. I got knocked out for 1 minute, and then woke up after the train was stopped. Then people started helping me, and then they got their jackets put underneath my head. I tried to get up, but then I looked down at my legs, and I realised I couldn't get. And then the fireman came. They helped me with an oxygen tank, telling me not to go to sleep because I got a hole in the back of my head for falling down the tracks. And when they got me up by putting me sideways and lifted me up and got me onto the spinal board, and took me down the stairs into the ambulance. I remember rushing to the hospital, and then going out to, then we were at Beaumont Hospital. They called me in and they put me on a bed, and I was sleepy, but they told me not to go to sleep in case I have a concussion.
I remember the day. I remember Gary's nanny had just finished chemo and I thought they'd be able to come home. And when they didn't come home at 4 o'clock, I waited down the end of the path and I listened, and no trains went up the track. And then I heard an ambulance, and I had a rough idea it was going to be him. Strange enough, I didn't think it was Nicky. I drove up, got halfway up there like a lunatic, and the guards rang. Well, actually, his Uncle Peter rang and I thought he was messing, and I won't tell you the language I used. And then the guard got on the phone, and then I slammed on the brakes. I think it was hysterical for about 5 minutes. Then I saw the ambulance go by. The guard told me to come home. I went home. Nicky told me he was conscious. He was talking, so I knew it wasn't that bad. The guards brought us up to Beaumont first, where he was initially assessed, and then the guards brought us to Temple Street, and he was in resus for an hour, and then he went into ICU, and he spent 4 days, 5 days there.
I was afraid that I wouldn't recover, like I wouldn't be able to walk again or use my feet properly. And when I got told I lost 4 toes, I thought I wouldn't be able to walk properly for the rest of my life, and I kind of cried a bit. And I think that was the toughest part of my recovery. And when I heard I could like properly walk without the toes, I was so happy. I remember my mum crying. Losing my legs, I get out more and try to do as much sports as I can, because the fear of losing my legs, I just try to do as much sports because I'm lucky to have legs, and I just use them as much as I can.